My sister said no one would ever date me, so she cried when I got engaged before her. Growing up, Violet was the pretty one, the charming one, the one who got asked to every dance while I stayed home with a book. Mom used to sigh and say, "At least you're smart, honey." Like that was some consolation prize for being invisible. Violet dated constantly. Star athletes, homecoming kings, guys who looked like they stepped out of cologne ads. She'd bring them to family dinners just to watch me squirm. "Maybe you could set her up with one of your friends," Mom would suggest hopefully. Violet would laugh. "My friends have standards." By the time I turned 25, I'd stopped going to family gatherings. Violet was on boyfriend number 4 that year, each one supposedly the one. Meanwhile, I was building my career as a civil engineer, traveling for projects, living my life. Then I met Owen at a construction site in Denver. He was the project manager, brilliant and kind, with this quiet confidence that made everyone listen when he spoke. We started with coffee breaks, then dinners, then everything else. 6 months in, he proposed. Simple, perfect, exactly us. I called my parents to share the news. Silence. Then Mom said, "Are you sure he's serious? Men don't usually..." She trailed off, but I heard it loud and clear. "Men don't usually choose you." I hung up. Violet called 10 minutes later. "Congratulations," she said, her voice tight. "I'm really happy for you." She wasn't. I could hear her crying after she thought she'd muted the phone. At our engagement party, Violet showed up with Preston, her latest. She wore white. Actually wore white to my engagement party. She kept touching Preston's arm, laughing too loudly, making sure everyone saw how perfect they were. But I noticed how he checked his phone constantly, how he barely looked at her. Mom pulled me aside. "Don't make a big fuss about the wedding," she whispered. "Violet's having a hard time with this." I just stared at her. My own mother asking me to downplay my happiness because my sister couldn't handle not being the center of attention. 2 weeks before my wedding, Violet called at 2 a.m. "I need to tell you something," she sobbed. Preston had cheated. They'd broken up. "I just thought maybe we could postpone your wedding," she said. "Just a month or two, until I feel better." I laughed, actually laughed. "No." She showed up at my wedding anyway, red-eyed and dramatic. During the reception, she cornered Owen near the bar. I watched from across the room as she touched his shoulder, leaned in close. My cousin Tessa appeared beside me. "She's telling him you've always been jealous of her," Tessa whispered. "That you're probably just using him to compete with her." Owen's face went cold. He stepped back, said something brief, and walked away. Violet stood there looking stunned. When he reached me, he kissed my forehead and said, "Your sister just tried to convince me you're marrying me out of spite." He smiled. I told her that was impossible because spite doesn't look at someone the way you look at me. We left early for our honeymoon. 3 days into our trip in Greece, my phone exploded with messages. Violet had posted on social media that she was engaged to Preston, the same Preston who'd cheated. She'd taken him back and he'd proposed, apparently the same week as my wedding. The announcement was full of photos, captions about true love conquering all, about finding her soulmate. I showed Owen. "Should we send congratulations?" he asked. "No," I said. "Something's wrong." I was right. 2 days later, Tessa sent me a screenshot. Preston's ex-girlfriend had commented on Violet's post. "He's still married to me. Our divorce won't be final for 6 months." I sat on our hotel balcony, the Aegean Sea stretching endlessly before me, and felt something shift. Violet had been so desperate to one-up me that she'd gotten engaged to a married man. But it got worse. When I got home and finally checked my email, there was a message from someone named Delilah. "I don't know if you know this," it read, "but your sister Violet has been messaging your fiancé,